Hi there folks, have you ever paid attention to the voices in your head? Now what I'm talking about are our thoughts. We have many different types of voices. We can have the controlling voice, we can have the poor me voice, the victim voice, we can have the injustice voice, the wisest, I need to get back at someone. We have a whole variety of voices, sometimes an entire orchestra playing in our head. Now if we are not paying attention to these thoughts, these voices in our head, they might be directing our life. In fact, what they can do is they are feeding our puppeteers, the core beliefs that pretty much control our behavior. Now our thoughts are merely just stories, because most of the time they're assumptions. They're based on what happened in the past or what might happen in the future, and right now in this very moment it may not necessarily be true. So what happens if we believe these stories? Well, we become identified with these stories. I'll try and give a best example as I can in terms of material stuff. For example, we might tell a story to ourselves that in order for me to have self-worth or to be accepted by society, I've got to look successful, and in order to do that I'm going to buy something really expensive like a car to drive around in so people go wow. And what may happen is I go into unnecessary debt around this. I'm not having a go at expensive vehicles, because if you've got the money, by all means enjoy it. But for some people you might end up going into incredible debt to try and justify yourselves to society. Now that is a story we tell ourselves. It has its roots in our thoughts and core beliefs, and it creates attachments. Another story could be in relation to relationships. We might have had in the past where we were betrayed by a loved one. That could be a story we carry with us into the present moment, and when we meet somebody new, we bring that story with us into that relationship and we identify it. We go, well, it's always happened to me in the past, so now I'm going to try and control this relationship so it doesn't happen again. And what can happen is we identify ourselves with that relationship. In other words, we start saying, she's my girlfriend, my wife, and it can become very controlling because of that fear of betrayal. Our identification to thoughts which may be simple ideas in the workplace. I have an idea about how to do something, but it's my idea, because the story we tell ourselves is, if that idea is not accepted, then I am not accepted. So what I'm trying to get through is that idea gets attached to who I am. That car gets attached to who I am. Those people we love become attached to who I am. I mean, when people go through a divorce, there's something that's ripped out of them. It's that concept of being a husband or a wife, because we identify with that. Now, is there something beyond identifying with who we are, who we should be? And there is, but one has to break away from the voices in our head, which can be very much attaching those to us. So how do we sort of let go of these thoughts? How do we detach ourselves from the thinking, and through that detach ourselves from the outcomes of the exterior world, which determines our happiness? Because really, where does happiness lie? It's within, not out there. So there's incredible tools around meditation. There are so many different types of meditation. There's yoga, there's transcendental meditation where you work with mantras, affirmations. There's simple breathing meditation. There's loving kindness meditation. But I'll talk more about the simple breathing meditation and how it can really help you detach from an identity of who you should be. And it's simple as this. What you do is you go and you focus on your breathing. Pay attention to the texture. You close your eyes, you do it for about a minute, and a thought's going to come into your mind. And you will see this thought coming through, but instead of trying to shove that thought out, because the moment you try and say, well, let's get that thought out of my head, it's going to scream even louder. What you do is you simply leave it alone and you go back to your breathing. Go back to your mantra. Go back to your yoga, your body position. Pay attention to your body. And what it does is it weakens the power of that thought over us. We stop identifying with that thought, and I think the best way, one of my teachers said to me, it's that state of be still, I know I am. And once we go into that state, we're in that space between where we are no longer the personality type. We are no longer a program, no longer a walking habit and pattern. We are something that is so much more powerful. I think that's what I'm trying to explain when I say we move more towards our essence. That's something which is just eternal. It's the beingness. As you work with meditation, for example, and as you detach yourself, you find that you become less reactive to the world, less controlling, less worried about the future, and there's less attachment to the past in the present moment. And what happens, you're in a better state to start changing your behavior. In fact, it'll change naturally through this calmness. And what also happens is you stop feeding the puppeteers, the core beliefs. The core beliefs can be very powerful, as I spoke about in the last vlog. And as you stop attaching to the thoughts, you're actually starving those negative core beliefs that no longer work for you, and eventually they disappear. So those are just some thoughts, folks. Until we chat again, take care and stay aware.